Have you ever noticed how certain colors make you feel? Maybe a soft blue calms your racing thoughts, or a vibrant red energizes you when you're feeling depleted. What if I told you these reactions aren't just psychological preferences, but evidence of something far more profound, an ancient understanding of color as a healing force that modern science is only beginning to validate? But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Has this ever happened to you? You walk into a room and immediately feel uncomfortable without knowing why, only to realize later the harsh lighting or aggressive color scheme was affecting your mood the entire time. This isn't coincidence or mere preference. It's your body responding to vibrational frequencies that most of us have forgotten how to consciously interpret. In the 1930s, while mainstream medicine was focused on pharmaceuticals and surgical interventions, a humble man named Edgar Casey was delivering thousands of readings in a trance state that presented a radically different understanding of health and healing. Among his most fascinating insights was the idea that colors are not passive visual experiences, but active, living frequencies capable of profound effects on human consciousness and physical well-being. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what Casey revealed about color therapy might completely transform how you think about the environments you create, the clothes you wear, and even the foods you eat. His insights suggest we're constantly bathing in vibrational influences that can either support our highest potential or subtly undermine our health and clarity. Imagine being able to intentionally harness these color frequencies, to know exactly which colors could help balance your unique energy system when you're feeling anxious, depressed, or physically unwell. What Casey proposed wasn't just a philosophical concept, but a practical healing approach that anyone could apply. The most remarkable aspect of Casey's work with color is how it bridges ancient wisdom traditions with quantum physics. Long before scientists were discussing the wave-particle duality of light, Casey was describing how color vibrations interact with the human energy field in ways that can either restore harmony or create dissonance. What you're about to discover might surprise you, especially when we explore how specific colors were prescribed in the Casey readings for conditions ranging from nervous system disorders to digestive complaints. These weren't random suggestions, but precisely calibrated vibrational remedies tailored to individual needs. If you're ready to deepen your color consciousness journey, hit subscribe to join our community of perceptual explorers. But where did this extraordinary knowledge come from? And why did conventional medicine largely ignore these insights despite their apparent effectiveness? The answers reveal as much about our cultural relationship with healing as they do about the nature of consciousness itself. This principle of color energy extends far beyond what meets the eye. Every hue we surround ourselves with is silently communicating with our energy system. The transformation happens whether we're conscious of it or not. Take red, for instance. While it stimulates passion and vitality in small doses, environments saturated with this vibrant shade can subtly heighten aggression and restlessness over time. I've witnessed spaces where excessive red decor coincided with unusually high tension among occupants, revealing the hidden truth of color's influence. The wisdom of blue, on the other hand, offers a journey into tranquility. This isn't merely aesthetic preference, it's energetic science. Blue wavelengths naturally decelerate our mental activity, which explains why many find themselves drifting into peaceful sleep under its influence. The mindset shift that occurs in blue environments is measurable. Blood pressure decreases, breathing deepens, and mental clarity often emerges from the calm. Green deserves special attention in our exploration of color energy. It sits at the heart of the spectrum for a reason. It's nature's great balancer. The reason we feel restored after walking through forests isn't just psychological. It's a profound energetic recalibration. green environments. Facilitate emotional equilibrium by creating resonance with our heart energy. This is why hospitals increasingly incorporate green spaces into their healing environments. The impact goes beyond aesthetics into measurable recovery outcomes. What's particularly fascinating about these color revelations is how they've been observed across cultures. Ancient healing traditions from Egypt to China documented these same effects thousands of years before modern science confirmed them. Behind the scenes of what appears to be subjective color preference lies universal energetic responses that transcend cultural conditioning. The decisions we make about color in our personal spaces aren't trivial. They're creating the energetic container for our daily experiences. A bedroom that promotes restful sleep, a workspace that enhances focus, a living area that facilitates connection. These outcomes aren't accidental, but can be consciously designed through color harmony principles. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by examining how these color energies interact with our specific energy centers. Understanding this relationship allows us to use color not just for general ambiance, but as targeted medicine for our energy systems. The ancient wisdom here becomes even more practical when we learn to match specific hues to the areas of our lives that need harmonizing. If this information about color energy is resonating with your experiences, write "Colors Speak to Me" in the comments below. The influence of colors on our well-being goes much deeper than mere aesthetic preference. According to Casey, we're constantly bathing in a sea of vibrational energies that affect us on multiple levels, physically, mentally, and spiritually, whether we're conscious of it or not. This hidden dimension of our everyday experience represents one of the most overlooked aspects of our journey toward wholeness. Think about it. Most of us choose colors for our homes, workspaces, and clothing based on trends or personal taste, rarely considering the profound energetic impact these choices have on our state of being. Yet these seemingly mundane decisions shape our reality in ways we seldom acknowledge. Consider the transformative power of blue, for instance. Casey noted that environments rich in blue tones can lower blood pressure, calm an overactive mind, and create space for spiritual insight. This isn't merely psychological suggestion. It's an energetic reality operating beneath our conscious awareness. The revelation here is that simply by mindfully adjusting the colors in our surroundings, we can facilitate healing without medications or complex interventions. The subtlety of color's influence makes it both powerful and easy to dismiss. When we struggle with persistent anxiety, sleep disturbances, or creative blocks, we rarely investigate whether the vibrant red walls in our bedroom or the harsh fluorescent lighting in our office might be contributing factors. Yet Casey's readings consistently pointed to these environmental elements as significant in either supporting or hindering our well-being. Don't miss future insights on sensory intelligence. Subscribe to continue expanding your awareness with me. What's particularly fascinating is how Casey described the individualized nature of color relationships. While general principles exist, like red's stimulating quality and green's balancing effect, he emphasized that each person resonates with specific colors based on their unique energetic composition. This personalized approach to color therapy represents a shift away from one-size-fits-all thinking toward a more nuanced understanding of healing. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how we can practically implement Casey's color wisdom in our daily lives. The application of these principles doesn't require dramatic lifestyle changes or expensive interventions. Simple adjustments can yield profound results when applied with intention and awareness. If you're finding these insights about color's hidden influence as fascinating as I did when I first discovered them, type "color conscious" in the comments below. I'd love to know who else is awakening to this dimension of healing. The idea that colors are more than mere visual aesthetics, but rather energetic forces that interact with our biological and psychological states, was revolutionary when Casey proposed it. Today's quantum physics has validated that everything, including color, is a form of vibration or energy. This understanding forms the foundation of Casey's approach to color therapy, an insight that was considered mystical in his time but appears increasingly aligned with scientific understanding today. When Casey advised that mother to remove red fabrics from her child's environment and replace them with calming blues and greens, he wasn't simply suggesting a decorative change. He recognized that the high-frequency energy of red was stimulating aggression in an already volatile child. The transformation that followed wasn't coincidental. It was a direct result of changing the energetic environment through color. The aggressive child became noticeably calmer, demonstrating the profound hidden influence colors have on our emotional and mental states. This revelation about color's impact extends far beyond children's behavior. Casey's readings suggested specific colors for healing different conditions: purple for spiritual awakening, yellow for mental clarity, green for physical healing, and blue for creating peaceful environments. What's fascinating is how these recommendations align with what modern chromotherapy now recognizes. The journey from Casey's mystical readings to scientific validation has been a remarkable evolution in our understanding of how subtly our environments shape our well-being. But color therapy was just one facet of Casey's holistic approach to healing. He emphasized that our physical environments create energetic imprints that affect our health, relationships, and spiritual development. The colors we surround ourselves with, according to Casey, aren't just aesthetic choices. They're energetic decisions that continuously influence our subtle energy bodies and, consequently, our physical health. Think about your own living and working spaces. The colors dominating those environments are silently influencing your mood, energy levels, and even your physical health. That persistent headache or unexplained anxiety might have more to do with the harsh lighting or aggressive red walls in your office than you realize. This perspective transforms ordinary design choices into profound wellness decisions. Now, I want to go even deeper into Casey's most controversial and potentially transformative health insights, ideas that challenged conventional medicine then and continue to offer alternative pathways now. These approaches weren't just theoretical musings, but practical applications that produced results when conventional medicine had reached its limits. If you're resonating with how Casey's insights about color and energy are still relevant today, write "Energy never lies" in the comments, because that truly captures the essence of what Casey understood about the relationship between our environments and our well-being. But the impact of color extends far beyond our personal experience. It ripples through entire societies in ways we rarely acknowledge. During times of conflict, have you noticed how aggressive colors like red tend to dominate the cultural landscape? It's not coincidental. These visual elements subtly reinforce the collective tension, creating a feedback loop of heightened emotions. Edgar Cayce's revelations about color take on new significance when we consider this broader perspective. He didn't just see color as a passive element of our environment, but as an active force we can harness for transformation. The conscious selection of harmonizing colors, according to Casey, could serve as a pathway to healing, not just for individuals struggling with specific ailments, but potentially for entire nations experiencing collective trauma or discord. This hidden dimension of color influence reveals something profound about our journey through life. The environments we create around ourselves aren't merely aesthetic choices. They're energetic decisions that shape our experience in subtle yet powerful ways. When we understand this, everyday choices like the color of our bedroom walls or the clothes we wear become meaningful opportunities for positive change. What's particularly fascinating is how this ancient wisdom aligns with modern scientific discoveries. Contemporary research in environmental psychology confirms what Casey intuited decades ago, that our surroundings, particularly their colors, significantly impact our neural pathways and biochemistry. This convergence of ancient insight and modern science offers a compelling roadmap for those seeking harmony. I've personally witnessed remarkable shifts in my own life after implementing some of Casey's color recommendations. Spaces that once felt stagnant suddenly gained new vitality. Relationships that seemed tense found easier flow. These weren't dramatic overnight miracles, but rather subtle recalibrations that over time created meaningful improvement in my daily experience. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring the specific color combinations Casey recommended for different situations. These aren't just arbitrary pairings, but carefully calibrated formulas designed to address particular imbalances. Understanding these combinations provides us with practical tools we can apply immediately in our lives. The beauty of Casey's approach is that it doesn't require dramatic lifestyle changes or expensive interventions. Simple adjustments to your immediate environment can initiate powerful shifts in your emotional and physical well-being. This accessibility makes his wisdom particularly valuable in our often overwhelming modern world, where simplicity offers a welcome respite. If what I've shared resonates with your experience or intuition about color's impact, write "Colors Speak to Me" in the comments below. I'm curious how many of you have already noticed color's subtle influence in your lives. Consider the profound impact of color on your everyday life. While we're busy focusing on medications, therapy, and lifestyle changes to combat our anxiety and stress levels, we're often missing a crucial element that silently shapes our mental well-being: the colors surrounding us. The nervous disorders and anxiety we experience aren't just products of our hectic lifestyles. There's a hidden truth about how our environments, stripped of harmonious color schemes, actively contribute to our restlessness. Think about the cold, sterile white walls of hospitals or the drab grey interiors of factories where many spend half their waking hours. These environments weren't designed with the human spirit in mind, and we're paying the psychological price. When I began researching this topic, I was stunned by the consistent patterns emerging across different cultures and time periods. Ancient healing traditions from Egypt to China understood that color wasn't just decorative, it was medicinal. They recognized what modern science is only now rediscovering. Our neurological systems respond to color frequencies in ways that can either restore balance or create disharmony. The spiritual ignorance mentioned in historical texts isn't about religious beliefs. It's about a fundamental disconnection from understanding how our bodies and minds interact with our surroundings. We've designed modern spaces based on efficiency, cost, and convenience, while neglecting the soul-level impact of the visual environment. Consider your own daily journey through different color landscapes. The morning light that shifts from blue to golden hues naturally regulates your circadian rhythm. Then perhaps you enter fluorescent-lit spaces that provide none of the spectral balance your nervous system evolved with. This creates a subtle but persistent state of discord that accumulates over time. The transformation many experience when changing their color environment can be remarkable. I've witnessed people struggling with chronic anxiety experience significant relief simply by altering the colors in their home or workplace. This isn't mystical thinking, it's a practical application of how our biology responds to visual stimuli. The discomfort we feel in certain spaces isn't imaginary or merely a matter of taste. It's our body's intelligence communicating that something in our environment isn't supporting our well-being. Our ancestors understood this intuitively, creating healing spaces with specific color harmonies based on careful observation of human responses. The revelation here isn't just that color affects us, it's how profoundly and specifically different colors influence different aspects of our physiology and psychology, and how deliberately we can use this knowledge for healing. If you've ever noticed how a blue room calms your thoughts, or how a vibrant yellow space energizes your mood, share your experience by commenting "Colors speak to me" below. I'm curious about your personal color observations and how they've influenced your well-being. Now, I want to go even deeper into the specific ways different colors affect our biological systems. He understood that in our modern age, we would face a crisis of chromatic imbalance that affects us at levels deeper than we consciously perceive. The artificial lights that bathe us constantly, from fluorescent office fixtures to the blue glow of screens, create subtle disturbances in our electromagnetic fields that Casey foresaw with remarkable clarity. This is where the journey into color healing becomes truly fascinating. When Casey spoke of violet light and its connection to spiritual awakening, he wasn't merely offering poetic metaphors. He was describing precise, energetic doorways that open within our neurological system when exposed to specific wavelengths. The pineal gland, what many ancient traditions called the third eye, becomes particularly receptive to violet frequencies, potentially explaining why this color has been associated with mystical awareness across vastly different cultures throughout history. What's truly remarkable about Casey's work is that modern photobiology research is now confirming many of his insights. Scientists investigating chromotherapy have documented how different colors can actually alter cellular vibrations, potentially bringing disharmonious patterns back into coherence. Think about it. When we're drawn to certain colors during different emotional states, we're not just making aesthetic choices. We're responding to deep biological imperatives that Casey mapped out decades before science had the tools to measure them. The hidden revelation in Casey's work is that color isn't just something we perceive, it's something we absorb and integrate into our energetic blueprint. He noted that prolonged exposure to imbalanced color schemes disrupts what he called our vibratory patterns, creating subtle but cumulative effects that manifest as physical and emotional disturbances over time. This understanding transforms how we might approach our daily environments. The colors that surround us in our homes, workplaces, and even in our clothing aren't just decorative choices. They're active participants in our physiological and psychological well-being. Casey described what he called color baths, where individuals would immerse themselves in specific colored environments to address particular imbalances. Now, I want to go even deeper into this fascinating connection between Casey's color theories and our modern understanding of light's impact on human health. What's particularly interesting is how he described the body's relationship with color as a dynamic conversation, rather than a simple stimulus-response mechanism. This perspective offers an entirely different framework for understanding our relationship with the visible spectrum that surrounds us every day. If you're finding these connections between ancient wisdom and modern science as fascinating as I do, write "wavelengths of wisdom" in the comments. I'd love to know how many of you are resonating with these concepts. Too much exposure to certain colors can create real imbalances in our lives. Take violet, for example. While it's connected to spiritual awareness and higher consciousness, Casey warned that overexposure might lead to unhealthy detachment from everyday reality. It's a fascinating paradox. The very color that can elevate our spiritual perception can also disconnect us from the physical world we need to navigate. Similarly with yellow, though it stimulates mental clarity and intellectual function, excessive yellow energy might overwhelm your nervous system, creating anxiety rather than focus. It's like drinking too much coffee. What begins as mental stimulation can quickly turn into jittery overwhelm. What makes Casey's color philosophy particularly remarkable is how it predated, yet aligned with ancient Eastern concepts of chakras. Long before the chakra system became widely known in Western culture, Casey was describing how specific colors resonated with energy centers throughout the body. This wasn't just theoretical. He prescribed specific colors as practical healing modalities for his patients. The transformation that occurs when we consciously work with color energy is subtle but profound. I've witnessed people make significant shifts in their emotional well-being simply by adjusting the colors in their everyday environments. One woman I worked with struggled with chronic fatigue until she introduced more red and orange elements into her home office, colors that Casey associated with vitality and life force. Within weeks, her energy levels showed noticeable improvement. Behind the scenes of Casey's readings, there's evidence he understood color as more than just wavelengths of light. He perceived them as vibrational frequencies that directly impact our physical bodies and consciousness. This perspective reveals something crucial about our journey through life. Our environments are not passive backdrops, but active participants in our well-being. Now I want to go even deeper into how Casey suggested we practically apply color for healing. He didn't just theorize about color. He provided specific applications that people could use in their daily lives. The beauty of his approach was its simplicity and accessibility. You don't need expensive equipment or esoteric knowledge to begin working with color therapy. For instance, Casey often recommended color-charged water, simply placing clear glass containers of water in colored light and then drinking the water throughout the day. He believed the water would retain the vibrational quality of the color, allowing for gentle, consistent therapy. This revelation about water's ability to hold energetic imprints parallels modern research into water's mysterious properties. If any of this resonates with your own experiences of how color affects your mood and energy, type "colors speak to me" in the comments. I'd love to know which colors you find most influential in your own life. The strategic use of color in healing practices isn't just decorative, it's a profound catalytic force. When we understand the intrinsic relationship between specific wavelengths of light and our body's energy centers, we unlock a powerful transformation tool that's been hiding in plain sight all along. What fascinates me is how this knowledge transcends cultural boundaries. From Eastern chakra systems to Western color psychology, this universal language of chromatic energy serves as a bridge between ancient wisdom and modern therapeutic approaches. The woman with throat issues who found healing through blue immersion represents countless similar journeys I've witnessed, where intentional color exposure created remarkable shifts. This approach operates on multiple dimensions simultaneously. On the physical level, different wavelengths of light trigger biochemical responses. Blue light, for instance, can regulate serotonin and melatonin production. But the energetic impact runs deeper, resonating with the vibrational frequency of the throat chakra, which governs communication, self-expression, and authenticity. The revelation that most intrigues practitioners is that color healing doesn't require belief to be effective. The frequencies work regardless of your conscious awareness, though mindful engagement amplifies results. Think about environments where you felt inexplicably energized or calmed. Chances are, color played a significant role in that unconscious response. I've seen remarkable breakthroughs when people create intentional color environments. One client struggling with confidence issues transformed her leadership presence by incorporating solar plexus activating yellow into her daily surroundings. Another overcame creative blocks by bringing heart-opening green elements into his workspace. These aren't coincidences. They're evidence of our innate responsiveness to chromatic energy. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how you can practically implement this knowledge in your everyday life. The journey toward energetic alignment through color doesn't require drastic lifestyle changes or expensive investments. Small, consistent adjustments can create profound ripple effects throughout your energetic system. What's particularly revealing is how personalized this process can be. While there are universal principles about color frequencies and chakra connections, your unique energetic blueprint means certain colors will resonate more powerfully with your specific needs. This explains why some people feel overwhelmed in environments that others find invigorating. We're responding to different energetic requirements. If what I'm sharing resonates with your experiences or intuitions about color, write "Colors speak to me" in the comments. I'd love to know who else perceives these subtle energetic influences in their daily life. Casey didn't just theorize about colors, he provided practical wisdom for their application in our shared environments. He strongly advocated for the intentional use of color in public institutions, particularly hospitals and schools, where our collective well-being is shaped daily. In healing environments, Casey suggested that the careful selection of colors could dramatically improve patient recovery rates. Imagine hospital corridors painted not in clinical white, but in gentle blues and greens that calm the nervous system and reduce anxiety. This wasn't just aesthetic advice. It was a prescription for transformation through environmental design. For educational spaces where young minds are developing, Casey recommended colors that stimulate intellectual growth while maintaining emotional balance. Warm oranges and clear yellows in classrooms could enhance concentration and creativity, potentially revolutionizing how students engage with learning. What's particularly revealing about Casey's approach is his nuanced understanding of color purity. While we might assume pure white represents cleanliness and clarity, Casey cautioned that spaces dominated by pure colors often feel sterile and lifeless. This hidden truth about color psychology explains why many modern minimalist environments, despite their visual appeal, can feel emotionally cold. Instead, he advocated for thoughtful blending of colors, creating harmonious combinations that mirror the natural world's rich tapestry. This balance reflects a deeper understanding of how our surroundings impact our inner journey. By introducing complementary colors, we create environments that feel both vibrant and soothing. There's an important lesson here about the power of subtle environmental influences on our collective consciousness. Casey understood that color isn't merely decorative, it's a silent language that speaks directly to our nervous system, affecting our decisions, emotions, and physical well-being in ways we rarely acknowledge. As we navigate our modern world filled with screens and artificial lighting, Casey's insights become even more relevant. The environments we design reflect not just aesthetic choices, but profound statements about how we value human experience. By consciously shaping our color environments, we participate in a form of environmental healing that extends beyond individual well-being to community health. Now I want to go even deeper into how Casey believed color could be used as a practical tool for spiritual and physical transformation in everyday life. If any of these ideas about color psychology have resonated with you, write "Colors speak to me" in the comments section below. Casey's nuanced perspective reveals something quite profound about our relationship with the vibrational world around us. He wasn't condemning any particular color as inherently negative or harmful. Instead, he was drawing our attention to the unconscious patterns we establish in our environments. Patterns that can either support or undermine our spiritual and emotional well-being. Think about the hidden transformation that occurs when you spend hours in a space dominated by colors you haven't consciously selected. These vibrations work on you subtly, beneath the threshold of your awareness. It's like the background music of your life. You may not actively notice it, but it's constantly influencing your internal state. The journey toward color consciousness begins with simple awareness. Look around your living space right now. How many of the colors surrounding you were deliberately chosen for their energetic properties rather than just aesthetic appeal? This revelation can be startling. We often decorate our most intimate spaces without considering the vibrational impact. Casey's wisdom offers us a powerful mindset shift. Instead of seeing colors as merely decorative elements, we can approach them as tools for energetic alignment. A bedroom bathed in overstimulating hues might explain persistent sleep issues. A workspace dominated by colors that deplete your energy could be secretly undermining your productivity and creativity. What's particularly fascinating about Casey's teachings is how they bridge ancient wisdom with modern understanding. Long before color psychology became mainstream, Casey was documenting the profound impact of vibrational frequencies on human consciousness. His insights weren't just personal opinions, but observations from his remarkable trance states, where he accessed information beyond ordinary perception. The deeper truth here is that we're constantly in relationship with our environments. Every color choice represents a decision point, an opportunity to bring more harmony or potentially more discord into our lives. This isn't about perfection or following rigid rules. It's about bringing consciousness to choices we've been making unconsciously. Now, I want to go even deeper into the specific colors Casey discussed and how they might be influencing your emotional and spiritual state. Right now, the practical applications of his color wisdom extend far beyond simple decoration choices. If you're resonating with this information about color consciousness, write in the comments, "I'm becoming color aware," and share which color you feel most drawn to right now. Beyond the therapeutic power of colors, Edgar Cayce's readings reveal something profound about our relationship with light that modern science is only beginning to understand. When we consider that our bodies are essentially crystalline structures at the cellular level, capable of receiving, transmitting, and storing energy vibrations, the implications are staggering. What's fascinating is how this ancient wisdom about chromotherapy aligns with quantum physics discoveries. Our cells don't just passively receive light, they communicate through it. This hidden truth explains why exposure to certain artificial lighting can gradually drain our vitality, while natural light sources can restore it. The key transformation happens at a level invisible to the naked eye, but profound in its impact. Consider this. When you're in a space bathed in harsh fluorescent lighting for hours, that inexplicable fatigue you feel isn't just psychological, it's your body responding to disrupted light frequencies. Your cellular structure is literally processing these imbalanced vibrations. This understanding gives us tremendous agency in our healing journey that conventional approaches often overlook. I've witnessed remarkable shifts in people who simply changed their lighting environments based on these principles. One friend who suffered from chronic migraines found significant relief after replacing the cool white bulbs in her home with full-spectrum alternatives and spending 30 minutes daily in natural sunlight. The revelation wasn't that she needed medication. Her body needed the correct light frequencies to restore balance. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how specific colors affect distinct biological systems. The vibrational quality of red light, for instance, doesn't just stimulate blood circulation through some vague energetic concept. It actually influences mitochondrial function, the power generators within our cells. This explains why Casey's recommendations weren't arbitrary, but precisely aligned with our biological design. What's particularly compelling about Casey's approach is that it empowers us to work with our body's natural intelligence rather than override it. In our modern healthcare paradigm, we've often lost this fundamental connection. treating symptoms while ignoring the body's intrinsic healing mechanisms that respond to light and color as primary nutrients. Think about how plants process light through photosynthesis to create energy. While our process differs, humans are also photosensitive beings. This perspective shift gives us access to healing modalities that don't require us to depend on external systems, but rather to harmonize with the natural world in more intentional ways. If this information is resonating with you and you're recognizing how color might be influencing your own well-being, write in the comments. Light is medicine. I'd love to hear your experiences with how different lighting environments affect your energy and health. The connection between color and healing continued to evolve as Cayce expanded his studies. Interestingly, he found that people suffering from heart conditions responded positively to green light exposure. For those lacking energy and vitality, golden tones seemed to trigger renewal. These observations, while primitive by today's standards, laid the groundwork for what would become a fascinating intersection between science and energy medicine. What makes Cayce's journey so compelling is his courage to explore beyond the limitations of his time. His revelations about the healing properties of color weren't just isolated discoveries. They were part of a comprehensive understanding that colors and sounds operate as frequencies that interact with our physical and energetic bodies in profound ways. The transformation in his patients was often remarkable. One account describes a woman with chronic insomnia who, after regular sessions with blue light therapy, began sleeping soundly for the first time in years. The hidden truth behind these results wasn't mystical, but vibrational. Specific frequencies were helping restore natural balance. Cayce also made the brilliant connection between color and music, recognizing both as universal languages of harmony. He observed that just as musical notes create emotional and physical responses, colors produce similar effects through their unique vibrational signatures. This understanding became particularly powerful in meditation practices where combining specific tones with corresponding colors helped practitioners access deeper states of spiritual consciousness. These weren't random associations. The impact of his work was systematic, documenting patterns of response across hundreds of cases. Behind the scenes of what appeared to be simple light therapy was a sophisticated understanding of how energy influences matter, a concept quantum physics would later validate. Today, modern photobiomodulation therapy, the use of red and near-infrared light to stimulate healing, bears a striking resemblance to some of Cayce's earliest experiments. The journey from his initial discoveries to today's scientific applications reveals how intuitive wisdom often precedes scientific validation, sometimes by centuries. What's perhaps most interesting about Cayce's approach was his insistence that the effectiveness of color therapy depended not just on the colors themselves, but on the receptivity of the individual. He believed that healing wasn't something done to a person, but rather a process of awakening the body's innate ability to restore itself. The colors were simply catalysts for this natural process. Now, I want to go even deeper into the practical applications he developed and how these correlate with our modern understanding of light therapy and energy medicine. The techniques themselves reveal surprising parallels with contemporary approaches that are only now being scientifically validated. If any of these historical connections between color and healing resonates with your own experiences, write in the comments, "Colors speak to me too." Even more intriguing is how these ancient cultures viewed color as not just decoration, but as a fundamental force in creating harmony or discord in one's life. They believed that surrounding yourself with the wrong colors wasn't just a design mistake, It represented a profound misalignment with natural energies, a form of spiritual negligence that could manifest in everything from irritability to chronic illness. The transformation potential of color is truly remarkable. Consider the case study I discovered of a businessman in ancient Egypt who was known for his explosive temper and contentious relationships. Court records indicate that royal physicians prescribed a complete renovation of his living quarters, replacing the dominant reds and oranges with blues and greens. Within weeks, associates noted a marked improvement in his temperament and negotiation skills. This wasn't considered coincidental, but expected, a predictable realignment of his internal energies with the external environment. What's particularly fascinating about the journey into color psychology is how these ancient insights mirror modern scientific revelations. Today's neuroscientists have confirmed that blue light suppresses melatonin production and affects our circadian rhythms, while red environments can actually increase heart rate and blood pressure. The ancient wisdom wasn't mystical conjecture. It was empirical observation refined over thousands of years. Behind the scenes of color theory lies an often overlooked truth. Our relationship with different hues is both universal and deeply personal. While certain colors affect all humans similarly due to our shared biology, our individual experiences create unique associations. The yellow that brightens one person's mood might trigger anxiety in another who associates it with a traumatic experience. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how we can practically apply these ancient color principles in our modern lives. The Egyptians and Greeks didn't just theorize about color, they developed sophisticated systems for intentional color use. From the clothes they wore to the spaces they designed, color choices were never accidental but part of a larger strategy for creating desired mental and emotional states. This mindful approach to color stands in stark contrast to our often haphazard modern decisions. We might choose a bright red bedroom wall because it looks dramatic, not realizing we're potentially creating an environment that stimulates rather than relaxes. Or we might wear black day after day without considering how this absence of color might be affecting our mood and others' perceptions of us. If you're finding these connections between ancient wisdom and modern science as fascinating as I do, write color consciousness in the comments below. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic because the relationship between our surroundings and our well-being reveals an intricate dance that few truly understand. When we examine modern environments carefully, we discover a transformation that happened so gradually most of us never noticed. Our ancestors lived in worlds colored by nature, earthy browns, forest greens, sky blues, while we've surrounded ourselves with artificially vibrant hues that simply don't exist in natural settings. This shift represents more than just aesthetic change. It's a fundamental alteration in how our biological systems interact with our environment. Casey's insights about color weren't merely philosophical musings, but observations about energy interactions that science is only now beginning to validate. Research in photobiology shows that different wavelengths of light, which we perceive as different colors, can trigger distinct biochemical reactions in our bodies. Consider the revelation that exposure to certain artificial blues in LED screens disrupts melatonin production. This disruption isn't just about sleep quality. It cascades through our entire hormonal system, potentially affecting everything from mood regulation to immune function. The journey toward understanding these effects has only just begun in mainstream science, yet Casey described these relationships nearly a century ago. What makes Casey's approach particularly impactful is his emphasis on awareness rather than rigid rules. He didn't advocate eliminating any particular color from our lives, which would be as unbalanced as overexposure. Instead, he encouraged mindfulness, about our color choices and their potential influences on our physical and mental states. This balance applies especially to what Casey called strong colors: intense reds, electric blues, and fluorescent greens, which can overstimulate our nervous systems when we're constantly immersed in them. But he was equally concerned about environments dominated by passive colors like beiges and grays, which might create a different kind of imbalance through understimulation. The hidden truth here isn't that certain colors are bad while others are good, but rather that unconscious color exposure represents a missed opportunity for intentional well-being. By becoming more deliberate about the colors we surround ourselves with, we can potentially harness their subtle but significant effects to support our health journeys. Think about your own living and working spaces. What colors dominate? How do those environments make you feel? Have you ever noticed shifts in your energy, focus, or mood when spending time in differently colored spaces? If you've had experiences with how colors affect your personal well-being, write "Colors speak to me" in the comments. I'd love to hear about your observations. Beyond these visual markers of spiritual states, there's a fascinating transformation that happens when we begin to see color as a language rather than just a visual experience. Our relationship with color reflects our inner journey and can reveal hidden truths about our current state of being. Consider this. Have you ever noticed how certain environments affect your mood dramatically? This isn't coincidence. Spaces designed with specific color palettes can shift your entire energetic field, sometimes without your conscious awareness. It's a silent conversation happening between your energy body and your surroundings. The wisdom traditions have always understood this profound connection. In ancient Egyptian temples, healing chambers were painted with specific colors chosen for their vibrational qualities. These weren't arbitrary aesthetic choices, but deliberate tools for consciousness expansion. What's particularly revealing is how your color preferences change as you evolve spiritually. Many people report suddenly being drawn to colors they previously disliked during major life transitions or spiritual awakenings. This shift reflects the recalibration of your energy centers as they align with higher frequencies. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how your relationship with color can become a practical tool for self-awareness. When you feel inexplicably drawn to or repelled by certain colors, pause and listen to what this might be telling you. Your intuitive relationship with color can serve as a compass for understanding what your soul needs in any given moment. There's also the phenomenon of color appearing in meditation or dreams. These aren't random occurrences, but meaningful communications from deeper aspects of consciousness. A persistent blue light during meditation might indicate your throat chakra activating, suggesting it's time to express your truth more fully. Golden light often accompanies moments of higher wisdom or divine connection. What makes this understanding so powerful is that it can be applied immediately in everyday life. You can intentionally surround yourself with colors that support the energy you're trying to cultivate. Feeling scattered? Introduce deep blue or indigo to your environment. Need to ground yourself? Earthy browns and greens can help anchor your energy. The revelations that come through understanding color on this deeper level can be life-changing. Many have discovered that their lifelong attraction to certain colors was actually their intuition, guiding them toward energies their soul needed for growth and healing. If any of this information has sparked recognition in your own experience with color, write "Colors speak to me" in the comments. Now, let's explore how these color energies interact with our energy fields and what that means for our spiritual development. Color isn't just visual pleasure. It's a frequency that resonates through your entire being. When Casey spoke about movement visuals like propaganda films, he wasn't just making casual observations. He recognized how calculated color combinations could bypass rational thought and trigger specific emotional responses, guiding viewers toward predetermined actions and beliefs. Consider how political campaigns strategically employ color psychology. The bold reds that evoke urgency and excitement, the calming blues that suggest trustworthiness and stability. These choices aren't random. They're carefully orchestrated to create invisible pathways in your mind, channeling your thoughts in specific directions while making you believe those thoughts are entirely your own. But Casey's revelations go far deeper than mere marketing tactics. He understood that our relationship with color operates on multiple dimensions: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. The colors you surround yourself with don't just affect your mood temporarily. They're actively shaping your vibrational frequency and influencing your soul's journey. Think about your home environment for a moment. Those paint colors you chose, the furniture tones, even the clothes hanging in your closet. According to Casey's framework, these choices reflect your current spiritual state, while simultaneously reinforcing or potentially transforming it. It's a continuous feedback loop between your consciousness and your environment. This hidden truth transforms seemingly superficial decisions into profound spiritual crossroads. That blue bedroom wall isn't just aesthetically pleasing, it's potentially shifting your entire life trajectory by altering how you process emotions, make decisions, and connect with higher consciousness. The revelations become even more striking when we examine the invisible spectrum Casey referenced. He suggested that certain colors accessible only to the gifted seer could reveal one's spiritual advancement. Imagine someone being able to look at your aura and instantly know where you are on your soul's journey, not through some psychic trickery, but through perceiving actual energy frequencies emanating from your being. What's particularly fascinating is how Casey connected color sensitivity to spiritual awakening. As your consciousness expands, he suggested, your ability to perceive and be affected by subtle color frequencies increases. This heightened sensitivity becomes both a gift and a responsibility, a sign of evolution that requires greater awareness of your color environment. This understanding transforms mundane choices into meaningful acts of self-determination. The next time you're selecting clothing, decorating a room, or even choosing which foods to eat, yes, Casey believed the colors of our food matter spiritually, you might consider whether those choices align with the highest expression of your being. Now, I want to go even deeper into how Casey's color wisdom applies to modern challenges we face daily. The bombardment of digital screens, artificially enhanced food colors, and synthetic environments creates an unprecedented color situation our ancestors never navigated. If you're recognizing patterns in your own color preferences that might be holding you back, type "color awareness activated" in the comments below. Modern science is beginning to validate his teachings on color's influence on psychological and physical states. Neuroscience supports many of Casey's ideas, showing how blue light affects sleep and hormones, echoing his cautions from nearly a century ago. What's truly fascinating is how contemporary research into chromotherapy is rediscovering principles that Casey described in his trance states. This journey of validation reveals something profound about intuitive knowledge and its relationship with scientific discovery. Casey suggested that green possesses remarkable healing properties for the nervous system and cardiovascular health. Today's research confirms that exposure to green environments lowers blood pressure, reduces stress hormones, and accelerates recovery. The hidden truth here isn't just about colors affecting us superficially, it's about their fundamental impact on our biological systems. I was particularly struck by Casey's specific recommendations about red light therapy, which he claimed could stimulate circulation and cellular regeneration. Decades before photobiomodulation became a scientific field, He was describing its mechanisms with remarkable precision. Now, medical facilities use red light therapy for wound healing, inflammation reduction, and tissue repair, exactly as Casey suggested they would. The transformation in scientific thinking has been gradual but unmistakable. Initially dismissed as pseudoscience, many of Casey's color therapy approaches are finding their way into mainstream treatments. The blue light that emanates from our screens disrupts melatonin production and circadian rhythms, something Casey warned would happen if blue light was used inappropriately. His recommendation? Yellow and amber lighting in the evening hours. Precisely what modern blue-blocking glasses and night mode settings on devices now provide. These revelations extend beyond simple color preferences. Casey described how color affects our subtle energy systems, influencing what he called the vibratory nature of cells. Quantum biology is now exploring how cellular structures respond to different light frequencies, suggesting mechanisms that could explain why color therapy works on levels deeper than psychology alone. What's particularly remarkable about this convergence between ancient wisdom and cutting-edge science is that it wasn't a deliberate effort. Scientists weren't testing Casey's claims. They were independently discovering principles that aligned with what he had already described. This pattern of rediscovery appears throughout human knowledge, where intuitive understanding sometimes precedes scientific explanation by decades or even centuries. The journey toward understanding color's true potential in healing is still unfolding. Hospitals are redesigning environments based on color psychology principles. Light therapy is entering conventional medicine, and researchers continue exploring how different wavelengths influence biological systems. What was once considered metaphysical speculation is gradually becoming medical protocol. Now I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how we can practically apply these color principles in our daily lives for improved well-being. The evidence suggests that intentional color choices aren't just about aesthetics. They represent a powerful but underutilized tool for influencing our mental and physical states. If you've ever noticed how certain colors affect your mood or energy levels, write in the comments, "Colors speak to me." One fascinating aspect of Casey's work that's gaining scientific validation today is the implementation of color therapy in medical settings. Modern hospitals are now deliberately designed with specific color schemes, soft blues and greens in recovery rooms to promote healing, warmer tones in communal spaces to foster connection. What Casey described decades ago as vibrational medicine is now becoming standard practice in healthcare. Environments. The transformation happens at a neurological level. When you enter a room bathed in blue light, your brain actually processes this information as a signal to produce more melatonin and serotonin, chemicals that regulate both sleep and mood. It's not just aesthetic preference. It's a biochemical reaction that Casey somehow understood long before we had the scientific equipment to measure it. I've witnessed this power firsthand in my own living space. After learning about Casey's color principles, I redesigned my home office with energizing yellows for creativity and problem solving, while keeping my bedroom in calming lavenders and blues. The impact on my productivity and rest patterns was remarkable, not because I expected it to work, but because these color frequencies genuinely influence our physiological responses. What's particularly revealing about Casey's approach is his insistence on balance. He warned against spaces that were too stimulating or too sedating. Home bathed entirely in red might increase blood pressure and anxiety, while too much blue could lead to emotional withdrawal. The key insight from his readings was the need for intentional harmony, creating different energy zones within our living spaces that support various aspects of our well-being. Behind the scenes of these color choices lies a profound understanding of human psychology. Casey suggested that our color preferences aren't random, but reflect our subconscious needs. If you're Naturally drawn to purple environments, for instance, you might be seeking spiritual connection or creative expression. This awareness can become a tool for self-discovery, helping us understand our inner landscape through our external choices. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how Casey's color wisdom extends beyond our homes into our personal choices, from the clothes we wear to the foods we eat. His readings suggested that these daily color decisions might be even more significant than we realize, affecting everything from our digestive health to our emotional resilience during challenging times. If any of these color principles have resonated with your own experiences, write "Colors speak to me" in the comments below. Colors don't just influence our physical spaces. They're silent architects of our internal worlds. When we ignore their effects, we're essentially wandering blindfolded through a landscape that's actively shaping our emotions, energy, and even our spiritual alignment. This isn't about mere decoration. It's about conscious navigation of the energetic currents that flow through our daily lives. Think about the last time you walked into a room and felt immediately comfortable or strangely agitated without knowing why. That's the hidden conversation between color frequencies and your energetic body. A dialogue happening whether you're conscious of it or not. The transformation begins when you start listening. What's particularly fascinating is how this awareness creates a profound shift in our relationship with our environments. Spaces that once seemed static become dynamic fields of possibility. That bedroom wall isn't just blue, it's a frequency that might be supporting your throat chakra expression, or perhaps overwhelming your sensitive energy field after a challenging day. The mindset shift from passive color consumer to active color curator represents a significant evolutionary step in how we interact with our surroundings. It's similar to the journey many take with nutrition, moving from unconscious eating to understanding food as medicine. Colors are essentially nutrition for our energy bodies and consciousness. This brings us to a critical revelation about personal sovereignty. Each color choice becomes an intentional act rather than an arbitrary preference. That red accent wall isn't just bold. It's introducing specific vibrational frequencies into your home's energy field. The green plants aren't merely decorative. They're bringing balancing heart chakra frequencies into your workspace. Behind the scenes of everyday color decisions lies a profound opportunity for energetic harmony. When we select colors for our homes, clothing, or even digital interfaces, we're essentially programming our experience. We're establishing the energetic foundation upon which our thoughts, feelings, and spiritual insights will unfold. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by exploring how specific colors actually influence different aspects of our being. Understanding these relationships allows us to create environments that actively support our highest intentions rather than unconsciously working against them. The subtle impact of color choices accumulates over time. It's not about a single exposure, but the continuous immersion in particular frequency patterns. If you're beginning to see colors in a completely different light now, type "color awakening" in the comments below. I'd love to know who's experiencing this shift in perception alongside me. If you've stayed with me through this exploration of how colors silently shape our experiences, you're probably already noticing the hidden color conversations happening all around you. This awareness alone is the first step toward a more intentional relationship with the energetic imprints in your environment. I'd love to continue this journey with you beyond this video. If something resonated with you here, a simple like helps others discover this conversation too. And if you made it all the way through, type "color awakening" in the comments. I'm genuinely curious about who's experiencing this perceptual shift alongside me. For those ready to dive deeper, I've created another video that explores specific color frequencies and how to intentionally work with them for different aspects of your well-being. Click the video appearing now to continue this exploration together. I think you'll find it transforms how you see the spaces around you in ways you never imagined.